Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I am very excited to see all of your faces, and we'll see who else hops on. And welcome to those of you who are watching the replay. And I am so excited to that we can be talking with Kathy Almond this morning. And I know she's a little bit nervous, but fortunately, she has all the answers.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be just fine, Kathy. Actually, as long as you have one more answer than everybody else, you're in great shape. So it's all fine. And the reason I wanted to focus on her is because she continually surprises me with her party count. And I probably ought to have interviewed her a long time ago to find out what's her mindset and what are the things that she says. But what hit me was when she was a part of the Beach and Bling booking blitz, she booked so many parties from her reach outs. And I was just fascinated by how she does this. So it reminded me to spotlight her for just a few minutes, see if we can take away some encouragement and inspiration from the kinds of things that Kathy is thinking about and the things that she does. So thank you, Kathy. And she just had shoulder surgery 3.5 weeks ago, correct?
Yeah, March 2nd.
Shoulder replacement. So she's like the bionic woman. Maybe that's the key to her success. I don't know, but we're glad you're feeling so much better and you look great. Yes. And unfortunately, because of the shoulder surgery, she could not go with us to the Dominican Republic on the Sparkle Sister retreat this time, but she was able to join us at the last one. And so we had a great time getting to know Kathy there. And so Kathy, when did you start with us?
I started it was a year ago this past January. So it's been just a little over a year.
Wow.
Never dreamed that I'd still be with you girls, to be honest. No.
Were we that hateful?
No, not even that. I just didn't think when Alicia approached me that I would ever be able to go this far. I just figure it was, okay, I'll get my cat, I'll have my first launch party and, get a few jewelries and that'll be it. It'll never go anywhere, I kept saying. And then one party kept leading to another and another party kept leading to another. And then, oh my God, I said, I love this. And I couldn't believe it. And honestly, girls, yeah, a lot of encouragement from you. And wow, if anybody would have known me from way back there in January, I was like, did not know how to do a computer, did not know how to do a Facebook page, did not know anything. So when somebody tells me now that they can't do this, I'm like, oh yes, you can. Because if I can do it, anybody can do this, because everybody's patient. I will say that. I've had so much support from Betsy, Alicia, Debbie, Rainey. I mean, I can go on and on and on how good everyone is. And and Betsy's right, there is no wrong answer in this. I did learn that no matter what you do. It just started coming natural to me, actually. Once I got over the fear of this computer, that was my biggest fear, was the computer, I guess. Because I just didn't know a lot about computers.
Right. So you said that one party led to another. And I think that's where you probably had a lot of people saying, well, that didn't happen to me. And so your experience is clearly a little bit unique. And that's what I want to get to the bottom of. How did you make your party calendar go from party to party to party? Are you doing let's talk about at the party. What kinds of things are you doing at a party to book parties?
Well, at my parties, I do here right now. At first, it was a lot of the Zoom parties. So on the Zoom parties, I really, from Terry, I got addicted to that box game. I do that box game. I have up there, just like Terry does, my little tray of the little boxes, number 1 through 12. I do that box game, even on my Zoom parties. So that's how I get a lot of my bookings, whether it's in person or at my Zoom parties.
Mhm.
And I always say, if you say no, am I still going to be your friend? And most of them don't say no. I mean, I've had a couple. I know I had one consultant say to me that she had a bad experience. I have not ran into that yet.
Yeah.
Everybody's been really excited to do the parties. If anybody gets a gift, I usually do the sparkle pens is what I usually give them, or those charms that we get from Swarovski. That's what I give for them, or free shipping.
Mhm.
That's what I'll give also, is free
Mhm.
shipping to them.
Mhm.
So that's what they'll earn, or they get me. So that's how I book from one party to another. So usually out of a Zoom party, I'll get one or two bookings, because
Mhm.
my Zooms, I don't get as many on as I do an in-person party.
Mhm.
And then
And so what do you think is different at your in-person parties that's
the
helpful?
the in-person parties, I find the girls will challenge each other. They will say, "Oh, come on, take a box." And I have them
Um,
all, my boxes at the in-person parties are all pretty little blue and red and silver boxes.
wow.
So I colored the boxes and numbered them. So they're all excited to like, oh, come on, take the blue box or take the red box or take the silver box. And they'll say to each other, you don't want to be left out without a box.
Hmm.
And that's how I find it's got to be at the in-person parties and stuff. It's gotten where you don't want to be without a box, do you? Your host got a box. Look, she even took another box. Um,
Wow.
yeah, because I'll start with my host. I'll say, do you want to take another one? It's up to you.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I start with my host at the party, and it's her decision. She'll
Great.
sometimes it's like, no, I think I'm going to pass it off. And I'll ask her before the party, do you want me to start with you? And because you can have, because sometimes my hosts really do want to book another party.
Right.
Sometimes they don't. Then I'll say to her, which one of
Wow.
your friends do you think will book off
Mhm.
from you? So she'll give me her name. And then that's the next person I'll start with.
Okay.
And then that kind of starts the chain of lines.
Okay. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. So what about when we're doing a booking blitz like we just completed, and you're reaching out for bookings? What
Oh,
kinds of things are you saying? How are you figuring out who to reach out to and what are you saying?
well, that Amy app, girls,
Mhm.
on my phone. Once I learned how to download it
Mhm.
and use it, has been my best friend. Instead of the blink for a friend, this has been my BFF. Um, it really has. I go into that contact list, and especially I'm a challenge girl. When
Mhm.
Betsy does these challenge things, I love a challenge. So I will start from my first A in my contacts, and I will go right straight through that list, and I offer it to everyone. I mean everyone. And I start there. Then, because this is the beginning of the year so much, and I'm brand new, I went and got out all my list of people from last year, all my host list, and I made a list. Actually, I have the list while it's on one of these papers of all my past hosts from last year.
Mhm.
And I contacted every single one of those from this challenge. Out of all my hosts from last year, I got bookings from them already. Not all in April,
Right.
but actually, I got most of them that did book or had parties last year already booked throughout the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which I was surprised. I was like, oh my God, I'm so surprised, so happy I did that. I said to myself, even though they're not in April, which that was the
Mhm.
challenge, I got the bookings.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if anybody does vendor events,
Mhm.
but I started vendor events last year.
Mhm.
And at each vendor event, I gave away a free piece of jewelry. I
Mhm.
didn't have them pay for the at all. All I really wanted was their name, their phone number, and I wanted them to put it in their in for the drawing so I could get their number and their name. And on it, I would ask them as they came to my table, are you interested in doing a party maybe? And I talk a little bit about it. Some would say yes. So I had my own pad and I'd write their name down. So I would contact them afterwards. If they didn't, that was okay. They went in the box. I have a whole list of envelopes still from each event with their names in them that I've been going through. That's how I got those April bookings.
Got it. So you were just circling back around again to those
Yeah.
people that you had met at parties. Okay, so for someone that you met at a vendor event, what is a typical message that you would start off with?
Well, what I was saying to him is, hey, hi, this is Kathy from Touchstone Crystal. How are you? I met you last year at the Titus vendor event in October. And most of them would say, oh, yes, you're the sparkle lady, right? That's what they call me, the sparkle lady. And I'm like, yes, I am. I said, do you have a moment? And if they said yes, I said, well, I would like to talk to you a little bit about Touchstone Crystal and give you an opportunity to earn some free bling for your jewelry box. And that's how I would start it out. And most of them were like, really? And I'm like, yeah, how would you like to get your spring wardrobe all dressed up? And a lot of them were really excited about it because, some of them were saying, oh my God, I just bought that new spring outfit, or I'm just doing my spring cleaning and I'm getting my new summer clothes out. And I'm like, well, good. I can dress it up with new jewelry.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them said yes. How do you handle when someone says no, thank you?
Oh my God. I was talking to Rainey and I said to her, I have, and this is no lie, I bet you 100 no's on that calendar over there that I said to her, oh my God, no. How do you handle these 100 no's? I said to her. I got, because you get discouraged because sometimes you get like 25 no's before you get that one yes. She's correct when she made that little calendar there that she says, when you get 25 no's, treat yourself. She's correct, because I would get 25 no's and then I would like, okay, that's enough for tonight. And I would stop because you can get discouraged. And I would just stop, go get something, whether it's a cup of coffee or I'd go for a walk usually. Sometimes it's just down my driveway right now because it's all I can do, but
right. Yeah.
I have to take a break for myself because if not, I get discouraged.
So that's totally understandable. And I think that's a good strategy. What do you say to someone when they are saying no to you in that conversation?
When they say no to me, I'll say, is this no for now or is this no forever? And I learned that from you. And or Alicia, one of you. And some of them will say, no, I'm not interested. I'm just a buyer, Kathy. And I'm like, okay. So I, say that's fine. That's totally your choice. Some will say, no, it's just not right. And I have a lot of those right now. No, can you contact me in May or can you contact me in June? And I'm like, sure, absolutely. Do you want me to pencil you in for a date now or what? And some of them will say, no, I'm just, I don't want to commit to a date just in case something comes up. And I'll say, absolutely. I will contact you the end of April and we'll talk about a date first part of the May so we can get you penciled in.
How do you keep track of those people? Do you have a little system for keeping up with them?
Oh my God. You're going to laugh at me, girls.
Oh, no, we won't. No, there's no laughing at you, Kathy.
Oh my God. I don't know if you can see, but in this calendar, I have so many little sticky notes. And
Yep.
each page has all their names and their phone numbers and a little note stating when to call them. And that's how I do on each
Yep.
page. That's what
Love
I
it.
do.
Love it.
Because that's my system
Uh-huh.
of how to do it. I have to, like, when they say to me, I put their name, their phone number, and like, oh, they said contact me end of April, party May. And that's
Mhm.
what I will write.
Okay.
And if they say like June, it's tucked in there in June.
Okay.
I don't even dare lose that calendar because
Right.
I couldn't keep track of any other way.
That's a really good point. That's your lifeline.
That is my
Um,
lifeline. And
You
I have,
might think about taking a picture of each page every now and again, just in case something does happen to it, and then you'll.
that good idea, because I actually, in my bag that I take to the parties, I have a separate calendar
Mm,
because I don't take that because I'm so afraid to lose anything out of it.
seriously.
That I take
Yeah.
I bought another calendar just to take to the parties.
Mhm.
And then if somebody wants to book a party right there, then I just come home and I then put it in there because I
Got it.
keep them both going. But
Okay. That
that's
makes
a good
sense.
idea because I don't know what I would do if I lost.
I know. Oh my gosh. There would be your whole book of business.
Yeah.
Kathy, what is your goal most months for the number of parties that is acceptable to you?
Well, not counting this month because I
Yeah.
literally took this month off,
Yeah.
girls. But my goal for me
Mhm.
is I like to have anywhere between 5 to 7 parties on the calendar for me. And I like the in-person parties.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's what I want. I then if I have some Zoom parties, that's
Mhm.
fine. But
Mhm.
I like to have 5 to 7 in-person parties for me.
Out of curiosity, of the parties that you've been booking, like the ones going forward in April and May or whenever, what percentage would you say for you are in person and what percentage are Zooms?
My most of mine are in person.
Mhm.
I like this month of April, I only have one Zoom party.
Got it.
And actually she's doing a Zoom party plus in-person party. She wants to do both. Wants
Oh,
me to have one, I know, one night of going live because she has family like elsewhere. So she wants me to do a night of Zoom for her outside family, but she also has booked a day for me to go to her home for her
mhm.
people that live nearby also. So we're actually
Okay.
doing a double, but it's counting as one party.
Mhm. Right. That's
Yeah.
that's very kind of you to do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll help her sales. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
I told her I would.
and then one last question from me. What is your number one host coaching tip for great attendance at a party?
Host coaching tip for great attendance at a party. I would just say, girls, ask everyone. And at checkout for me is my personal spot that I love to get to know people. I will chat with everyone. Sometimes I chat too much because I don't get out of there. Imagine
You
that,
enjoy
right,
them.
ladies?
Mhm.
I'm like Debbie. I call everybody.
Mhm.
I am a caller
Mhm.
versus texting. I'm not a good texter. I rather call people. So I chat with everyone. Once again, I offer the business to everybody, and that's where I offer it to just about everyone.
Mhm.
Even through my demonstration, I offer it at the beginning when I'm talking to people at my party, but then at the end there when I'm checking everyone out, I will offer it to everyone again. I have all my flyers there at the parties. I have it on my table so that where everybody is sitting around, I absolutely have it in their faces, like so that they can see it. I have the kit there right now with the offering for $79. I have it on the in stands wherever they sat. And I have a couple of them made out so they all can see that it's $79. I think that's really important. And I do. That's where I chat the most is. So if I was to tell anybody, offer it to everybody.
I love that. I think that's wonderful. So who has a question for Kathy?
She did such a good job. We don't have questions.
Kathy, do you offer the party to everyone or you're offering the business to everyone?
I offer both. I offer everyone that if, do you want to book a party? Are you interested in giving your host that 70% off item, or would you be interested in doing what I'm doing? And I always say, hey, it's like QVC. If I can do this, anyone can do this. Because a lot, QVC is big up here. I don't know about for anyone else's area, but QVC is a big business up here. We have a lot of QVC shoppers up here.
How does that help you?
Sometimes it does. Sometimes people will look at me and say, no, we don't watch that. And I say, yeah, you do. Like, yes, we do. We all sit and watch it because we all text each other, like, hey, jewelry's on tonight. Do you watch this one? I'm like, no, not anymore. Because jewelry was one of our big ones, and they're all like, no, we don't either. We're always at your house looking at your jewelry. But
cute.
It is, but, and I have a lot of people that I swear they just want to try it, but I can't get them to leap off that next pole yet.
Sometimes it is timing, and, for you to keep them in your pipeline is going to give you great results. Maybe they're just not ready yet. That's pretty classic. It's not, some people will start right away, but probably half won't, half are a little bit later on. So you're doing all the right things. Any other last questions for Kathy?
Not really a question, but I like how when you're going through the list, not saying instead of focusing, but just opening up the whole year, like, in case if now's not the right time, well, when would be the right time? And even if they say, September, by the time you get to September, then you have a full calendar. So I really like that approach, and looking at it more overall. So that was and I like your book with your sticky notes. I'm a sticky note person myself. So
Right.
Oh my God.
I do love that, because that's something that everybody can do. And a lot of people who are perfectionists feel like there needs to be some Excel spreadsheet. And if your brain works that way, great. But for most of us, it doesn't. And
It doesn't for me.
we're all about the sticky notes in the notebook, method. And that's perfectly acceptable as long as we look at them again. And it sounds like Kathy really does. Kathy, what's your goal for your number of parties in April?
Right now I have the 5 on the calendar. And I'd like to get 2 more.
Okay.
We're
Great.
still in March, so I'm hoping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And to
But
be
my
able to
goal-
book something from the early April parties also.
Yeah, I'm hoping today is one of my days. Usually Saturdays I spend all day trying to get bookings. That's usually my work day in the office.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm hoping to get 2 more is my goal for in person. And then I'll be happy. Because I always think, somebody might cancel or something will come up,
And
I'm
at least that
always
way you have
thinking.
and at least that way you have your minimum acceptable to you.
Yeah.
That's really great. Well, thank you, my dear. Really, really appreciate you sharing all of that.